We're going to talk about a word problem. This one happens to be quadratic. And as the instructions in the review would tell us, eliminate unreasonable answers such as negative time or negative distance. Can't have those, so therefore that answer would be eliminated. So let's look at our problem. It says a ball is thrown vertically upward from the ground. Its distance in feet, so distance in feet, from the ground in t seconds is this equation. So just remember, S is your distance in feet, and the t is your seconds that you're looking for. Okay, well, if this is our equation, now this rest of the statement says how many seconds will the ball be 288 feet from the ground. So that means that S becomes, we want to know when is it there, 288. They're only asking after how many seconds will it reach that. So 288 feet is going to be S. That's equal to negative 16 t squared plus 144 t. So, as usual with a quadratic, we have to set it equal to 0, so we're going to move all these to the next side, right? Alright, so that would give us plus 16 t squared minus 144 t, then plus 288 equals 0. Now we're in proper form to solve a quadratic. Looking at these are huge numbers to be working with. The easiest thing to do is see if you can simplify this equation by taking out any amount. After I checked, I can take 16 out of every single one of these. When I divide a 16 out of every single term, I can simplify my equation, which is going to make it much easier to factor my problem. So I have t squared left when I divide 16 into 16. Then when I divide negative 144 into t, I get 9. And I divide 288 into t, I get 18. So I'm going to factor this problem, t squared minus 9t plus 18. Just taking this 16 out is just a reduction of the numbers that our final answer would have been reduced by that, so we don't have to worry. And we can set this piece equal to 0. So as usual with factoring, we multiply 1 times 18, which is going to give us 18. And we want to find multiples that multiply to give us 18, but add to give us negative 9. Well, I know 3 and 6 will give us 18. We have a negative 9. Well, if both of these are negative, then that makes sense that they would add up to negative 9. Now, since this just has a 1 in front of it, we know these can become our factors. T minus 3 times T minus 6. All right, so is it feasible that I'm going to get 2 answers? Well, let's see. If I draw a little picture here, we know if they're throwing this up, it's a quadratic. It's going to make some kind of parabolic curve. You're starting at 0, you would end at 0. Where do they want to know? 288 feet. Okay, let's just assume it's up here somewhere. 288 feet. If it crosses in the middle of your parabola, there will be 2 places that it would reach 288 feet when it goes up, curves, and comes back down. So it is possible to have 2 answers. So let's see. T minus 3 equals 0, or T minus 6 equals 0. This is going to give me T is equal to 3 seconds, and this is going to give me T is equal to 6 seconds. That seems like 2 valid answers, so therefore we have both of them as right. That should help us out. Now, if it was different, if you were on the ground when they reached it, you're only going to get 1 answer, because after it takes off, it's only on the ground 1 time. Or if it was at the vertex, it would only be 1 time, but you wouldn't know until you do the calculation.